Hi, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nancy Young, and I'm here with Crystal Mary. We are both doctoral students at the University of Arkansas in the Leaders for Transition program. So we are here today to talk to you about using Google My Maps. We hope that you find this to be a very enlightening resource that you can use in the future with your students and families. And I'm going to let Crystal go ahead and kick it off and start showing us an overview of what a completed map looks like so that you'll have an idea of where we're going with this.
Okay, that sounds great. So what I'm going to show you is actually one that I created for the Fort Smith Public School District here in Arkansas. And this particular map um, has probably over 100 resources on it because we are a fairly large school district in the River Valley area. So all of these are located in Fort Smith. So when you look at the map, you'll notice that you'll see a lot of colors. Whenever I created the map, which hopefully you will do for your school or your district or even for a student in your classroom, I actually created it with different categories or layers. And if you notice over here in the left-hand column, I sorted everything in the city by different colors and layers, which are employment services, medical and health services, home health care, specific transition services, education, transportation, housing, and nonprofit organizations. I also added recreation and veteran services. Fort Smith Public Schools is actually a Purple Star school, which means we serve a large percent of military families. So we felt that it was important to include veteran services because they do offer disability services in our area. So in this particular map, you can actually zoom in, you can zoom out. If you notice, it looks very similar to your typical Google map when you search on your navigation. Whenever a student wants to click on, or a parent, or if you have it open at parent-teacher conferences, you can have it embedded in a school website, whatever works best for your school or your district. You can actually click on it and it shows you the same information that's currently in Google Maps as if you were searching through a Google bar. So in this particular one, this is Visiting Angels. It's a home healthcare for people who need home healthcare services. And so it gives them their address, their website, and phone number. Now, one great thing about Google My Maps is anything that you create in your map, you can actually add a description and edit it for anybody that you need. So for example, I can edit this and I can add maybe a contact. So such as maybe contact Judy Smith at, and then you can put their number. Okay. And so if there's a specific contact, you can also put a description. So this is a great service for home health care for students and young adults with disabilities. So you can also add a short description if you might want to be a little bit more elaborate on what that particular business does in the community for the community resource map. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. I can also add an image. The great thing, and I actually learned this recently, you can actually add an image or a video. So by adding an image, you can actually drag an image of a person that you want them to see or contact. So if I wanted to add a picture of Judy here, you can actually add a picture of Judy. You can even add a picture of the business or the place to make it easier to have a visual image for that person to search and to find that place so that they know what to look for. Because we all know when we have driving directions, it's sometimes difficult to find where it is sometimes if we don't have an image to a new place. Okay, so the next thing that's great about Google Maps is, say, for example, there are some students or schools or families that don't need all of these services. Maybe they only want to look at employment services. So what you can do is people who visit the map can actually uncheck what they don't need. So I'm going to go through here and uncheck everything except for employment. And so now if you notice on the map, the only things that are left on the map are those that are employment services that are on the map. Okay. All right. So one thing that's great about sharing it is really easy to do. You can click share once you've created it. Anyone in the link can view. Let others search for this and find it on the internet. Let others see your name and photo on this map, that you can turn that off. And then there's the copy link. So you can copy this and embed it into emails, into IEP paperwork as a resource. You can put it onto a school website. You can share it with families at parent-teacher conferences. It's just however best works for your district. All right. So I think, Nancy, that's about it as far as what this one will do. Is there anything else you can think of?
I think you covered a lot of things. And that's I think it's a perfect segue into the next part. So what I'm going to do now is just show you guys how to start creating these maps so that you'll learn step by step how to do it on your own. There's also a help link, how to do this in Google Maps that I will also show you.
See if I can.
I think you have to stop the share, Crystal.
Yes.
I'm sure you're working on that. But hopefully you guys are getting a good idea of what this is and the purposes it can be used for in your lives. And then now, okay, now I will show you how to create one. Okay, so here we go. So this map is pretty blank. This is a pretty new, and I've only added just a couple of things, a couple of recreational facilities, and I colored them purple. So this is all that's on this map. So it's the same general area here in Fort Smith. Because Crystal and I are both in the same area and we both taught at the same district. So if you want to add something to your map, the first thing you need to understand how to do is to log in. So you'll go to Google My Maps. Not just Google Maps, but Google My Maps. And so you're creating your own maps and they will be saved under your profile, your Google profile. So you'll log in up here in the corner. It'll tell, you know, when you've logged in, you'll get logged into your account, create that. If you need to create a new one, you'll just set that up. And then you will get a map like this will pop up. To find a place, which I have titled this map River Valley of Arkansas, you can just click the three dots and go up here to, you know, make a new map. You can copy this map or open a map that you've already created in your account. But I'm going to type up here in the search bar and think of something that I want to locate. So if I want to find, say, an autism therapy clinic, I can type that in. And so all of this comes up, but you'll notice this one's in Illinois, this one's in Texas, Oklahoma. I want something near me on the map where I am. So I'm going to go down here and click search places near current view. And that will only search for the autism therapy places near me. You can see it zoomed out large. And so I'm just going to scroll with my mouse bar, just zoom in, and I'm going to click and drag the little hand to get back to my area and just zoom in and out that way. And so now you can see that it automatically populated all autism therapy clinics in the area near me where I was looking on the map. It automatically colored them all the same. They're all colored green on here. And just like Crystal showed you earlier, when you hover over one of them or click on it, it'll pull up and tell you what it is. So I can click on different ones. It gives me their information right here in the box. And then you could do like Crystal showed and go in and add a photo if you wanted to. I think that's a great feature that you mentioned, Crystal, because it makes it, it's a great idea for if you have a child who has autism, for example, and they have a need to see somebody's face before they go into the place and maybe get familiar with it, see a picture of the place before they go in or something. It'd be a great idea to put a photo here for that purpose. So anyway, I'm going to click out of that and you can see now that I've still got my two purple places, which were recreational facilities on the map. And if I hover over them here, over here on this left-hand bar, it highlights it on the map when I hover over it so that I can see, you know, which place it is that I'm looking at. So you can see how it kind of moves around. So if I wanted to go to this one, then I would click it and over here on the left and it'll pop it up over here on the right. Or I can go click it over here on the right and it'll pop up too. So it's two ways you can click. And then it already populated these all with one color, but if I wanted to change them to a different color, I can do that too. So I would click on that.
Add to map.
Yeah, add it to my map right here. Click add to map. That's one I want to keep. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So these aren't all automatically added to your map until you click add to map. So if I wanted to add, say, this one also, and I just want these two, I'm going to go click right here, add to map. It's got this little plus sign, add it to my map. So now if I'm done with that, they're added to my map. I can click it. I can edit it. I can change the color right here with this paint bucket. So I click the paint bucket, and maybe I want these all to be, oh, I don't know, maybe I want them to be red. Let's pick this red color right here. So now it changed it to red. So then I have that, and it's changed, and you can see the dot. That means it's been added to my map. These other ones are just still here from the search. So I'm going to clear my search by clicking the X over here, where see where I had typed in autism therapy, looking for places near me. I'm going to click the X, and they're all gone. The only ones left on my map are the ones that I clicked and added to my map, which was this one that I turned red. So I hope that makes sense. And that is generally how you
We
do
can
it. And over
show
here,
how to go ahead and add a layer, and let's add autism.
great
And
idea.
we'll
So
click and
you'll
move
click,
those.
yeah, we'll click add layer right here. And you can see right here, it says untitled layer. Oh, I already have one started. Okay, so untitled layer right here, and you can change the title of it by clicking here and renaming the layer. And we're going to name it autism therapy clinics. And then save. And so now this is a new layer that's renamed. And then I can just click up here and drag it down. I should be able to. There it goes into there. And I just clicked and dropped it. So I just clicked, held down, kind of hovered over it, held it down until it grabbed it, and then pulled it down and dropped it into place. Now, you'll notice that these two are not the same color yet. You do have to go in individually and change that color on each one that you want it to be. So I'm going to click this one that's still blue. I can click here, change that color to red. Super easy, and it is done. So now they are both red over here.
Yeah, the great thing about Google Maps, it's really user-friendly, really easy to do, and embeds everything that Google has, including driving directions,
Oh,
when a
yeah.
student clicks on it.
Yeah, so it works just like a Google map does, which many of you are probably already familiar with. You can use it on your phone, type in an address, and it goes to it. This just helps you to locate things, like with a big overview of where you're going, specific to the resources that you use on a regular basis, or that you might need to know where they are. And so as educators, you can put things on a map that families might not know about. If you have a family that's new to the district that just moved in, this is a great tool. If you take the time to set it up and you pre-populate it with all the places that are commonly used by families of children who have disabilities, that would make it easier on them to locate resources for themselves and their children. So we think it's a great resource for that reason. And can you think of anything else we need to show?
No, I think though, just an important note about Google Maps is you do have to have a Google account. And so if you are a Google school, this is a perfect resource for your school. It's just really important to make sure that you create the map under a general or a new created Gmail account, not your personal, because if you create a Google map under your personal account or your personal Gmail account, it goes with you if you leave a district or if the student leaves. So if a student creates an account under their school Gmail account, when they graduate from high school, they won't be able to access it. So you want them to use, if you're having a student create their own personal map in class, which we've seen that before, we've also seen teachers create it for students and for families, is to make sure that you're using an email or a Gmail that they can access later once they leave the school district. If you're creating a map though for the district, you might want to just have your tech department create a general Gmail account that's accessible by multiple admin, such as community resource map at gmail.com or at yourschool.com or whatever your Gmail tag is. So whichever works for you and your district, I hope that you are able to use these in your district or your school or your classroom, whichever best fits your scenario. But we are here to help you. We're both at the University of Arkansas. My name's Crystal Mary again. You can look us up there. My email is kmary, MERRY, at uark.edu. And we'll be happy to walk you through if you need assistance, and we'll show you how to do it through a meeting as well.
And my name is Nancy Young, and my email address is nwyoung@uark.edu. So it's uark.edu. But again, either one of us will be glad to help you through it. And I really think this is going to be a great resource for you to use and share with your families using that share button like Crystal showed you how. So however you choose to set it up on whichever kind of email account you use, share it with the families, and then also you'll be able to show them how to create their own. It'd be great for students as they're transitioning out of high school, going off into college, to teach them how to make their own maps of the areas that they're going to be living in and becoming familiar with as they move, hopefully, on into their adulthood lives. And this will just help them become more successful.
It'd be a great idea, especially if they're going off to college,
Yeah.
to have them create one to their new university that they're going to. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having us today. And we would love to help you. So reach out anytime.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.